Hey everyone, welcome back to day 2 of the mini quiz project. So in this video, we'll be implementing the design part as well as the implementation part to build the quiz app. And if you find this interesting, please hit the like button and also subscribe for more such content. So yeah, let's get started. So the first step is to create a Expo Manage project so that we can start building up our application. So let's go do that. So firstly, inside my terminal, let me head over to my build folder first. And then over here, let's create a Expo app. So let's write npx Expo CLI in it. Let's give a project name, or let's say quiz project, and then let's press enter. So this should ask us to choose a template. So this is just going to be a mini project, as I've already told. So we're just going to choose the blank template, and then we are going to hit enter. So this should create all the JavaScript dependencies that is required to start building our application from scratch. So let's wait for the project to get installed, and then we can head over to the project folder and then start working on our app. So talking about the design part over here, we have the initial home screen towards the right, where we need to start our quiz at the bottom with the help of the button. And towards the left, we have the quiz, the quiz screen itself, where the questions start coming up. And the top, we have the timer. We also have the progress bar, and then we can answer any one of the questions. So we'll be including all the types of corner cases and the UI design as well. So yeah, let's wait for it again. It's still installing. It's gonna take some time, I guess. Okay guys, so the project has been installed. So now let's head over to the project directory. Okay, so let's write cd quiz project, and then let us write code dot. Okay, so now let's open it up manually. So go to the build and then quiz project. Alright, so this is the initial app.js they've given us. I mean, this is the initial project structure that we have got when we initialize our Expo Manage project. So inside the app.js, we are pretty much returning a view, as you can see, with a text inside. So firstly, let's run our application. So let's go to new terminal, and then let's write yarn run iOS and hit enter. So this should install our app on the simulator in just a minute. So let's wait for it to install the app. So we should pretty much see the text which says open up app.js to start working on your app when the app loads on the simulator. Right, so it's building up the JavaScript bundle. Okay, and yeah, so as you can see, we can see the text coming up on the screen at the center part of it. That is because of the default styling, that is align items and justify content of center. So now let's start creating some folders that we would require in further. Okay, so let's create one for components. One is for our screens. One is for, let's say, data for the questions actually. So now let's go to our screens folder, create our first screen, that is the home screen. So it's gonna be home screen.js. Okay, so over here, let's write RNFES, that is React Native Functional Export with style sheet, to get the shorthand snippet. So to get the shorthand snippets, you need to have installed ES7 inside your systems. So I think that is, yeah, this is the one to get React Redux or React Native snippets. Also, you can install other dependencies required, that is tab 9, that is for the AI suggestions that we are getting. So now let's go back to our home screen. Okay, and let's import it inside our app.js over here. So let's remove everything. Let's just write home screen, import it from the screens folder, and save the file. So now let's start designing our home screen. So as you can see over here, the first thing inside the home screen is the image. So let me firstly import image from React Native, and I have the image link with me. So let me just go copy that right now. Okay guys, so I've just pasted the image. So I'll be sending the link in the description below if you guys need, or you can just Google a quiz image. And the style for that is height of 370, the width of 100%, and a resize mode of contain. So let's go to the view and just give a bit of margin top of 15. All right, so the next thing we want is, yeah, the text which says quiz rules. So let's initialize a view first. Over here, let's give a bit of padding, that is, let's say padding of 10. The first thing over here is a view. For this, it's gonna say quiz rules. Let's give some basic styling for the text. It's gonna be a text align of center, and then a color of magenta. Let's give some font size as well as font weight, and then save the file. All right, yeah, I think the font size should be a bit more. Let's keep it to 20. Okay, so next we have all the quiz rules. That is another container. So let's initialize a view. Okay, so over here let's give the styling a bit of internal padding. Let's give a background color. Let me just see the code once. It's gonna be F88 and 379. Then we also have some border radius to it, so border radius of 6, a bit of margin top of 15, and yeah, I think that's it. So now we have all the text coming up. So for that, let's initialize another view. So this is gonna have two texts. The first one is just gonna contain a dot. So for that, I'm just gonna say option 8 inside of Mac. So let's start writing all the rules. So for each correct answer, you get 5 points. So for this view, let's give the style, that is a flex direction of row, and then align items of center. Let's save the file and see how it is looking. Okay, not bad. So now for the second text, for the second styling, we're gonna say a bit of margin left. It's almost touching the dot, so margin left of 4. Yeah, we also should give the color. So the color of the dot is gonna be white. So over here, let's initialize style and color. It's gonna be white. So for this one, it's gonna be a different color. So let's write 722F37. Okay, so let's give some font size and font weight to the second text. So let's say font size of 15 and then font weight of 500. All right, so now let's pretty much copy this two texts for a couple of times and then change the rules. So all right, yeah, so let's start changing up the rules. The second one, yeah, this one, it says there is no negative marking for wrong answers. Yeah, next one is a time limit. So each question has a time limit of 15 seconds. And the last one is going to say you should answer all the questions compulsorily. So spelling right. Yeah, hopefully it should be right. So let's save the file. Okay, we are getting everything in a row, right? That is because it shouldn't be in a row. Why are we getting it in a row? Okay, because we have not initialized it in a separate view. Let's go to that. So let's remove one of the view over here. Yeah, so for each of the two texts that we have, let us just initialize a view and then put it over here. So the same thing for the remaining two. And this one also. Yeah, so for all the view, let's give the default setting that we have given for the first view, that is the flex direction of row, and then align items of center, that is this one. So let's pretty much copy that and then paste it over here for the second view, the third one, and the last one. So format once and save the file. Okay, so for each of the view, let's give some margin vertical because they are almost close to each other. So for the second view, let's write a margin vertical of 5. I guess 5 looks good, so let's give that to all of the other views as well. Okay, let's also try giving it to the first view over here. Okay, I think that's it about the second part of the home screen design. So now lastly we need to just initialize the button so that we can start the press part. So let's initialize a pressable and let's import it from React Native. Okay, so next we have the text inside the pressable, so it's going to say start quiz. Save the file. Okay, so for the pressable, let's give the style. So the background color is going to be magenta, a bit of internal padding, that is 8 or 7, and we also have a border radius. Let's keep it to 15, and then let's give a margin left, no, photo, and also a margin right of photo. Then we also need some spacing on the top, so for that, margin top of 14, format once. So that's it about the pressable style. So for the style of the text, let's give a color of white, a font weight of, let's say 600, and then a color is done, so text align center, and then yeah, save the file. All right, it's looking good, but we need to increase the size, I guess. Yeah, so the padding is gonna be 12, 10. Let's give it a bit of width of 120. Let's increase the padding and also the border radius too, so let's keep it to 20, 25. It should almost look circular. So now let's give some more spacing on the top, let's say 20. Let's keep it to 30. Yeah, I think 30 is okay. So now let us firstly install the dependencies required for navigation so that we can navigate from one screen to the other screen. So let's install first. So let's go to React Navigation docs and then getting started. So since we're using yarn, let's copy the yarn code for it, and then inside a terminal, open up a new terminal, paste this over, and yeah, since we're using the Expo managed project, let's copy this one, that is for the React Native screens as well as safe area context. Yeah, so let's paste it over here. So next let's move on to Hello React Navigation, and then let's install the native stack by using yarn. So let's paste that over here, enter. So now we need to create a native stack navigator. So for that, let's come back to our file tree. Let's create at the root level, so new file, and then stack navigator .js, then rnfes to get the shorthand snippet. So let's save the file once. So instead of returning a view over here, let's return the navigation container that they have given. So over here, let's just paste it over here. Let's import it from the correct dependency. And let's also initialize our create native stack navigator. All right, let's import that as well. And they've given a default screen as home screen. We also have a home screen inside our app. So let's pretty much import the home screen from the screens folder. So now we have initialized our stack navigator. Okay, so now we need to import it inside our app.js. So instead of the home screen, let us just write the stack navigator. So if you have done everything right, it should not give us any bugs. Let's save the file. Yeah, so everything is working nice because we have got the home screen header. Okay, so if we do not want the header to be seen, so for that, let's go back to our stack navigator, provide some options to the stack screen. Okay, so it's gonna be header shown, and we're gonna set it to be false. All right, so now let us go to our file tree, create a new screen, that is the quiz screen .js. So let's write rnfes to get the shorthand snippet, save the file, and next we need to initialize a new stack screen inside our stack navigator. So let's write stack.screen. So the name for this is gonna be quiz. Okay, so the component is gonna be quiz screen, and over here also header shown should be false. So first let's import our quiz screen from the screens folder. All right, that part has been done. So now let us let's make use of the use navigation hook, and then let us move from the home screen to the quiz screen. So let's initialize over here. So let's say const navigation equals to use navigation. Let's import it from the correct dependency, and let's create an on press event on the pressable button. Over here, let's say on press. It's going to take a function, and we're going to say navigation dot navigate. So over here we need to pass the name of the screen we want to navigate to. So inside a stack navigator we have given the name as quiz, so we're going to write quiz over here. So let's write quiz and press save. So let's try navigating. So there you go, we are coming to the correct quiz screen. So let's make use of the safe area view over here instead of a normal view, and let's make changes in the return block as well. Okay guys, so now let's start designing the quiz screen. So firstly we need to import the questions the questions data. So let's go do that now. So now let's copy the question. Okay, so all the questions are created inside a drive link. I'll be sending the link inside the description so that everyone can get access to it. So yeah, over here let's copy all the questions first. I think there are 5 questions, and let's copy this into the data folder. So let's come back to data folder, create a new file, that is questions.js. Let's pretty much paste it over. Let's remove the unnecessary stuff. Okay, let's come back to our quiz screen, import the data. So import questions from the data folder. So let's initialize it to a value. So const data equals to questions. Okay, so firstly let's try to access the first question, right? So let's say const current question equals to a data of 0. Firstly let's log our question, console.log current question. Okay, let's come back to our console. Yeah, so this is our first question that we are getting. Okay, so firstly let's go check out the format, like how the data is. Okay, so each of the question object has a question. The options is inside a separate array, and we have the correct answer index. So with the help of the correct answer index, we'll be implementing the functionalities, that is for the UI design or the styling, that is if we press on any one of the option. So we have each unique ID for the options array, and we have the options itself, and also we have the answer. Okay, so that is it about the format of each of the question. So firstly let us try to render the first question. Okay, so right now let us go back to our quiz screen, and let us initialize a view first. Okay, So let's go check out the design first. So towards the left is the quest challenge text, and we also have the timer towards the right. So first let's design that out. So the text is going to say quest challenge, and there is another text which is going to say timer. So firstly we are going to hard code it, and at the last we are going to design the original timer. So let's say style, we're going to say flex direction of row, and then align items of center. Okay, can't find a view. So let's import it from React Native. What is happening? It's not working. Yeah, it is working. So let's also give justify content of center, space between. All right, some internal padding. So padding of 10. Or let's remove the first text, that's not required. Okay, so yeah, that is it about the first line. Second line, it has your progress text, and towards the right we have the number of questions answered. Let's pretty much copy the first view, paste it over again. So it's gonna say your progress, and this is gonna have a 0 out of 5 questions answered. Okay, so let's remove the padding and let's give some margin horizontal of 10. Okay, so below this we have the progress bar, which we're going to design it at the later part of the video. So now we can start initializing the view. So this is for the question itself. So let's give some basic styling. Okay, so firstly let us give it a background color of light. So let's say background color. Let it be blue. Okay, so first we are gonna initialize the text. So it is gonna be current question dot question. Let's save the file. Yeah, we are getting the correct one. So let's give some margin. Does it have a margin? Nope, it's fully to the screen. Let's give some margin top, right? So margin top of 20. All right, okay guys, so this is going to be the style for the outer view, which is going to have the questions. Okay, that is a light blue color. So now for the text, let's give some styling. So style, it's going to have a font size of 18 and then a font weight of bold. All right, and then yeah, below this we can just start rendering options as well as the answers, right? So if you check out the questions, we need to map through our options because options is an array. So for that, over here, firstly let's access our current question dot options or dot map for each item inside our options, or let us render a text. This is going to be item dot options. All right, we are getting all the options correctly. So next we need to, okay, let's just keep it inside a view, I guess, because we also need to write the correct answer as well. So for that reason, let's just push it inside the view. Let's just paste it one more time. So this one is gonna be item dot answer, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it's gonna be this one, item dot answer. Okay, so for this view, let's give some styling. That is a flex direction of row, and then align items of center. So for the outer view, let's give some spacing to the top because it's almost touching the question text. So a margin top of 12. Okay, I think 12 is okay. So now let's give the styling for the text, right? That is for the option. So let's say style equals, let's give it a border color. It's going to be a very light color, so that is 00 FFFF. Let's also give a text line of center, a bit of width and height. So let's say a width of 40 and then a height of 40. Let's give a border radius of exact half of the width and height to make it look circular. So it's going to be 20. A bit of internal padding, that is 10. And we also need the border radius. So let's write border radius. It's again going to be 20. Okay, let's give it a format once and then save the file. Okay, something is happening but not exactly what we wanted. So we also need to give the border width, I guess, right? So let's give a border width of, let's say, 0.5. Okay, yeah, we can see the circles coming up. So next we want to style the answer text, right? So let's go do that. So let's give a basic styling, that is just a margin left of 10. All right, that part is done. And yeah, I think that's it about the answer part. And we need to style the outer view over here. So let's give it again a border width of 0.5. Let's give it a border color of the same thing that we have given earlier, that is 00 FFFF. Let's give it a margin vertical because it's because each of the options are almost touching to each other. So margin vertical of, let's say, 15. And yeah, I think that's it. Item center we have given. Okay, so yeah, let's give it a try once. Okay, we have forgotten to give the border radius. Okay, we have forgotten to give the border radius, so let's give that. So border radius of 20 again goes to the view, and they should make it look perfect, right? All right, so our questions are coming out perfectly. So let's give it a format once. Okay, so let us decrease the margin vertical. Don't think we need 15. Let's keep it to 10. Yeah, I guess 10 looks good. So over here we're gonna make it a pressable, okay, because we need to press on them, right? So instead of a view, let us make it a pressable. Same thing goes for the bottom part. Let's create a pressable. I think it's imported. No, it's not. So let us import pressable from React Native and save the file. Okay guys, so we have done the design part for the questions. So now let us, I think one more thing is the space part over here. So for that, let's give more space. Let's keep it to 20, 30. Yeah, I guess 30 looks good because we also need to show the progress bar over here. Okay, so now let's start this implementing in such a way that if you pressed on any one of the option, we should show if it is the correct answer or it is the wrong answer with the help of the UI design, right? So we'll be making use of the correct answer index that we have inside our data, right? So let's get started. So to start off with, firstly, let's initialize all the states that is required to build up our logic from starting. So for that reason, let's go back to our quiz screen, and then over there, let's start initializing all our states, okay? So the first one we want is, let's say, the points, that is to increase the points value whenever we press on the correct option, right? So let's initialize that. So const points, comma set points equals to use state. So the initial value we're going to provide is 0 because at the initial states there are 0 points, right? So after that we want access to the index Okay, so this is pretty much index of the question. So I'll just explain in a bit. So index of the question. So over here we are providing a hard-coded value that is 0. So instead of 0, we are going to provide the index over here, right? So for that, let's initialize the state. So const index comma set index equals to use state. Over here also we are going to provide an initial value of 0. So instead of 0, we are going to provide index, right? So index value is set to be 0. That is the initial value. So that's the reason we are getting the first question as well. If I save the file, nothing is going to change. Yeah, use state is not defined. Let us initialize that. Yeah, so you should pretty much get the first question itself. So after that, we also need access to the answer status. Okay, so this can be either true or false. So let's write that over. So const answer status comma set answer status equals to use state. So the initial value is going to be null. So next we want access to our answers. So this answers is an array of objects that is going to contain the points as well as the question number, whether it is true or false. I mean, whether it is correct or wrong. This is required to display in the next screen, that is the result screen. So for that, let's initialize that over here. So const answers comma set answers equals to use state. So as I told, it's an array of objects. Let's pass an empty array at the initial state. Okay, now we are going to write the selected answer. So this is going to be in the form of index. Okay, so let's write const selected answer index comma set selected answer index equals to use state, and the initial value we're going to provide is going to be null. Okay, so next one is for the counter. Let's write that over. As we know, we have a counter that starts from 15 to 0. So let's write that. So const counter comma set counter equals to use state. So the initial value is going to be 15. It's going to start from 15 and then it's going to go till 0. Next we have is the interval. So let's initialize that. So let interval equals to null at the initial state. Okay, so now I think that's it for the states. If there is anything required, we can come over and add it over here. So now let us come back to the pressable. So over there, let's initialize on press event and let's check if it is working. So let's say on press, it's going to take in a function. We're going to say navigation, console.warn. Let's give a random message which says pressed on the option. Okay, so yeah, we are getting the correct message. So now instead of console.warning this message, we are going to say that if the selected answer equals to null, that is for each and every question we come through, then only we are going to set the selected answer index to that particular index that we pressed on. So instead of I, let me write index for better understanding, and yeah, set selected answer index to be index, right? Okay, so index value comes from 0 to 3, that is for the options. If you check out the questions data, we have the options that is pretty much 4 other. So the index values range from 0, 1, 2 and 3, right? So if you press on the first option, you're going to get 0, 1, 2 and then 3. So fine. So now let us start writing our use effect listeners. That is very important. Okay, so let's write our first listener. So use effect. Okay, so here we are including something inside the dependency array. Firstly, let's correctly import use effect from the correct one, that is from React. Yeah, so the way use effect works is, so this use effect is going to run every once the quiz screen component loads, and if we do not have any dependency array, this use effect is going to run every once there is a state update inside this particular component, that is quiz screen. And if we include something inside of it, use effect is going to run every once the app loads, that is the quiz screen loads, and then it's also going to run every once the whatever variable we have given inside the dependency array. When that particular value changes, it's going to run again. So we're going to give selected answer index over here. So when this particular value changes, we are going to run this use effect. All right. So firstly, we need to apply a condition. Okay. So that is for each and every question, we're going to say if the selected answer index is not equal to null. That means if we have pressed on any one of the option, then itself we are setting it, right? But we are still checking the condition over here. So over here again, we have the second condition, that is if the selected answer index equals to current question, that is at that particular question, it may be 0, 1, 2, I mean 1, 2, 3. And we have something called as corrected answer index inside the questions data. So we're going to check that. So if the selected answer index equals to current question dot corrected answer index, okay, if this equation, I mean if this condition is correct, that means we have pressed on the correct option. So for that reason, firstly we're going to say set points. Firstly access the points, and we are going to increase it by, let's say, 10 for every correct answer. Okay, so after this we are going to say set answer status. So this is going to be true. After this we are going to say we are accessing the answers. So this answers array is required in the next screen. So for that we are going to use it here itself. So answers dot push. Firstly we want the question. So the question number is going to be index plus 1, because index starts from 0 as we know. So we're going to say index plus 1. So after that we need to write the second parameter, that is let's say answer. Okay, so answer is going to be true because we have matched this condition. This condition is going to be correct, right? So that's it about the if condition. Else, if this is not the case, then of course it's going to be the second condition, that is the answer is going to be wrong, right? So let's pretty much copy all the three statements and then paste it over here. So over here we are not going to increase the points or decrease the points. We are just going to say set answer status to be false, and after that we are going to say, yeah, over here answer is going to be false. Okay, so this was about the first use effect. So let's write the second use effect. Okay, so why should we write the second use effect? So let's say after each and every question we should make the selected answer index to be null, also the set answer status to be null. If that's not null, that means if whenever we get a new question, it's not going to go inside the use effect at all, and it is not also going to set the value that we pressed on over here, because we are checking a condition over here, that is if the selected answer index equals to null. So we're going to make use of a second use effect right over here, and we are setting the selected answer index to be null after each and every question, right? So let us write it over here. Over here also we are including a dependency, and whenever every question changes, then we are going to say this, that is set selected answer index to be null. So set selected answer index to be null again, and then set answer status again to be null. Yeah, I think this makes sense. So after each and every question, that is the current question changes, we are going to say this, right? So next let's write the third use effect. So this is for the counter that we have, that is used to come down from, let's say 15 to 0. Yeah, so this use effect is going to run every once the counter value changes, right? So let's write that over here inside the dependency array. So let's initialize a function over here. Let's say const my interval. It's going to be an arrow function. Firstly we're going to check the condition, that is if the counter value is greater than or equal to 1. If this is the case, we're simply going to decrease, right? So let us access the set counter and access the counter value, and we're going to say counter -1. So that's what we're going to do if the counter is greater than or equal to 1. So next condition is if the counter in case becomes 0, it's going to become 0. Then what we're going to say is we're going to say set index to be index plus 1. That is, if the time reaches 0, we are automatically going to the next question, right? So even if you don't answer the question, it's going to take you to the next question automatically because of this condition. After this, we're going to say set again counter to be 15, that is starting from the new one. Yeah, so we have the interval initialized over here at the top on the 27th line. So let's just call that over here after the condition. So we're going to say interval is the spelling right? Yeah, here it is wrong. Let's make it interval. Yeah, so interval is going to be, let's initialize it to a set timeout, which is going to run after every, it's going to run after 1 second, right? That is after 1000 milliseconds. So over here we are going to pass our function, that is my interval. Okay, so after this, if there are any timeouts left, that is if there is any timers that is not completed, we're going to just clean up that thing. So let's write a cleanup function. So we're going to say return. We're going to make use of the clear timeout, and then we're going to pass in the interval. Okay, so we're going to write the last one, last use effect, that is regarding the interval. So this is going to run every once our index changes, right? So let's pass in the dependency array with the index, and we're going to say if there is no interval, we're going to set the counter again. So we're going to say set counter to be 15 again, right? Yeah, so we have managed all the use effect. I think one thing is remaining, that is if the question reaches if the questions come to, if it goes to the last question, we need to handle that. Okay, we need to automatically navigate to the next screen, that is the result screen. So for that reason, let us create a new screen. Otherwise it's not going to be handled. It's just going to stay in this screen itself, that is after the time has been passed from 15 to 0. So for that reason, let's create a new screen, that is, let's say result screen .js, and then rnfes to get the shorthand snippet. Save the file once, and then let's come back to the quiz screen. So we're going to say another use effect. Okay, so this also is going to run every once the current question changes, right? So we're going to say if the index if index plus 1 is greater than our questions, is it questions or data? It's going to be data. If it's greater than data dot length, so in this case we are going to say navigation. So is it initialized? Let's initialize it at the top. So const navigation equals to use navigation. Okay, so now what we do is we are going to say in the over here navigation dot navigate to the result screen. Over here we're going to pass some information, that is the answers array. It's going to be the answers. This is stored inside of state. Next we want is the points, right? So it's going to be points. These two are also stored inside of states, that is this one, and then the first one, right? Yeah, so now we have designed everything, that is the logic has been built. So hopefully we should just now change the style. Okay, that is going to be over here. So we're going to write the condition for the style. It's not going to be just this single one. So let's write the condition for this style. Now let's come to the style and then give the necessary conditions. So over here, let's again write style. And the first condition is going to be if the selected index equals to the index, and also that index should be equal to the current question dot correct answer index, then only it's going to be true, right? So for that reason, okay, we are going to write the styles over here. We are going to write the second condition now. So that is going to be if the selected answer index is not equal to null, but it is equal to the index that we press on, that is the default one. So selected answer index equals to the index. This case we have pressed on the wrong option, so for that reason we are gonna write another style. So that's the reason I've put the empty braces. Else it's just gonna be the default style that we have, right? That is this one. So let's pretty much copy the default styles for all the styles currently and then later make the changes. Let's give a format once. Okay, so this is the first condition, that is if the selected answer index equals to the index that we press on, and also that index is equal to the current question for that particular question dot correct index, then only the answer is going to be true. Okay, else it's going to be false. I mean, it's going to be wrong. So if it is true, one thing we need to change, we need to give a background color of green, as you've checked out in the demo video. So if it is false, the background color is going to be red. Okay, else it's going to be default. Let's format once and then let's check it out from the beginning. Okay, so let's say if we press on any one of the option. Okay, so if you press on any one of the option, pretty much you're going to check this condition, that is if it is equal to the index, and also if that particular index is equal to the correct question, dot correct answer index, then only we are going to show this UI, that is this thing is same, we are just adding the background color of green. Else in the second condition, what is happening is if the selected answer is not equal to null, and then if that is equal to the index, then what we are doing is we are just giving it a background color of red. Other question remains, I mean other style remains default, and this is the default condition. If both the condition fails, it's going to show this condition, right? So that was it about the styling of the view. So now we need to style the item dot options. So for that, let's again give the condition, that is if the selected answer index equals to the index, and if the index value is also equal to the current question dot correct answer index, then we need to show a icon, right? So if you have checked out the demo video, we should show a tick mark button for that. So let's go do that. So let's search for expo.icons.fii and let's search for the tick icon. I guess it's check. Yeah, so the first one. So let's import and design from the correct one from the Expo vector icons. Let's also import the render component code and let's paste it over here. Okay, yeah, I guess over here. Okay, so that's about the first condition. If we are yeah, if it's correct, we are going to show that. Else, yeah, just add a operator else if the selected answer index is not equal to null and the index is equal to, I mean if the same as same as this one, it's pretty much going to be the same. If the selected answer equals to the index, then we are going to show another icon, that is the wrong icon. So I think it's going to be close. Yeah, it's again from ant design. So let's pretty much copy just the value. If this is not the case, again we add an operator. Okay, we are just simply going to return the text that was initially present, right? This is the default styling if none of the conditions become true. So let's give a format once. Okay, so just a minute. So now let's also give the style to the ant design. Okay, we need to give the similar style to the text, or else it's gonna look really weird. So let's give the style over here. Let's pretty much copy the same thing. The same piece of styling comes to the ant design, second ant design icon. So style. Now let's make the changes and see if anything is required. Okay, so border color and then text align center, border width, height, border radius, padding, and then border radius again. Let's remove that one more. We have 2 times border radius. Here also we have 2 times. Okay, so I think the color should be, if it is correct, it should be green, and if it's wrong, it's gonna be red, I guess, right? Where is the color? Yeah, this one. I think we have given the same color to the parent as well, that is green and red. Yeah, I think that's it about the quiz screen design. Okay, let's see if it is exactly working or not. So firstly, let us initialize the timer. Okay, we have not, instead of the timer text, let us just give the counter value and refresh our app from the beginning. Okay, so it's gonna have a piece of style. So let's give a margin, not a margin, padding of 10, background color of magenta, and also we need a border radius of 10. Okay, so yeah, let's also make this dynamic. So this is gonna be the index value. So index is gonna start from 0. So if when you come on the first question, it's gonna be 0 of the total number of questions. So for that reason, it's stored in data. I think everything is there in data. We have initialized it to a value. So it's gonna be const total questions equals to data dot length. Yeah, so over here it's gonna be total questions. So let's make it total questions. Okay, so yeah, we need to also design the progress bar. Okay, we can do that later. I think let's save the file once. Okay, the timer is not coming down. Let us see what is exactly happening inside our use effect. Yeah, we are initializing a function over here. We are calling that over here after yeah, after 1 second. Then yeah, it should work because the counter value is greater than equal to 1, and we are calling it after every counter changes. Okay, I get it now. We are doing this inside the function, right? It should be outside of it. It should call the function outside. So save the file. Yeah, so now as you can see, the timer is working, and let's make some changes. Okay, so let us keep the timer inside a pressable, so we can provide some border radius to it. So pressable. Yeah, so now automatically it's going to the second question. So let's initialize a pressable over here. It's done. So let's give the style and everything to the pressable. Okay, so as you can see, as soon as the timer reaches 0, it's going to the next question, and if we reach the last question, it's automatically going to take us to the next screen. So color of white and then text align of center. Yeah, so now it's working fine. Let's keep it also a font weight of bold. Yeah, let's also give a border radius of 20. Yeah, okay, I think that's looking good. So let's refresh and start from the beginning. We need to make some more changes. Okay, so now for the time being, let's just comment out the timer, because it's not gonna let us do the other things, because it's just gonna navigate after every 15 seconds to the next screen. Okay, so at the bottom, so like if the question is true, let's even comment out the use effect. Okay, and this one, and also this one. Okay, yeah, so now at the bottom, like if the answer is correct. Okay, first let's check if it's working. So let's say if you press on the first one, so there you go. Okay, we are getting the wrong answer. Everything is working fine, but the the icon is not appearing, right? So I think the icon color should be white. Let's give that a try. Let's again try it out. Okay. Okay, but it is not entirely filling up, right? Let's again refresh it. Because you can only answer the question only once, right? So let's give it another try. Yeah, so let's give a correct answer this time, and let's make it white again. Let's write Asia. Okay, but yeah, it needs to fill the entire thing. So I think we have given the width and height, but I don't know why it's not taking it out. It should take the entire space. We have given the width 40, height 40, border radius also 20. Let's see what is happening exactly. Okay, let's decrease the size a bit. 20 and then 20. Let's start it over again. Okay, let's again give it a try. Okay, never mind, it's almost coming at the center, but it is not increasing the size. Let's give it to 30. All right, okay. Yeah, I think even that is looking good. Let's give a wrong answer once and then check it out. Yeah, I think that is actually looking good. It's coming at the center and it is giving the correct answer. I mean, correct UI design. That is if it is wrong or right. So let's say we give a wrong answer. Okay, this is erroring out. Let's give 30 for this. Okay, it's not looking that good. 20. Yeah, but still there is some difference. Okay, check circle, close circle. Okay, okay, just a minute. This should be 20, right? I was giving the design for that one, which is completely wrong. Yeah, now it's looking good. Yeah, I think essentially that's it. Okay, instead of just showing the entire entire container, we're just showing it to the center. I think that also looks good. So yeah, let's just go on with this. And now at the bottom we are going to show, I don't know why it's not opening. We are going to show if it is correct or wrong. That is also left out. Yeah, so if you press on the correct answer, at the bottom over here we should show the correct statement that it is right or it is wrong. So for that, let us start doing the design, right? So it's going to come after the view. Let's see if we are at that level correctly. So let's write a text. Hi. Yeah, correctly we are at that. No, we are not. It should come after this view. Yeah, I think it's looking better. So yeah, instead of the text, oh yeah, we are going to first write the condition, that is if the answer status equals to null, then we are going to render null itself, else we are going to render a text. Okay, here also we are applying a condition. I don't know why it is giving that error out. Yeah, we didn't add that operator. So again we are writing the condition, that is if the answer status. Now we're going to write the text. The first one is going to say correct answer. This one is going to give us a wrong answer. Alright, so now let's look into the style of the text. Okay, so again we are going to apply the same condition, that is if the answer status equals to null, it's going to be null, it's going to be null. Else we're going to apply the style, that is a font size of 17, a text align of center, and also a font weight of bold. Okay, so now let's give the same piece of styling for the view. So here let's say if the answer status equals to null, this is the case, we are just going to show null. Else let's write the conditions, let's write the style, that is margin top of 45. Let's give a light background color, so it's going to be F0, F8, FF. Let's give some internal spacing, that is padding of 10, a light border radius, and a specific height. Okay, still it is erroring out because we have not given, instead of the question mark it should be the colon. So pretty much this is the condition for to write the statement, that is if it is a correct answer or wrong answer at the bottom part. Okay, so let us, after this we also need to show the button that is present, right? So for that, let me just write the code. Let me just get the code over here because we have already done this in the previous application. So I've just copied out the code. So it goes like this, that is if the index plus 1 value, that is if we have reached the almost second last question, the last question, and then if we press on the next button, then we are gonna go to the next screen. So that's the condition over here we have written, that is if index plus 1 is greater than question source length, we are initializing a pressable value which is going to take a text that is, it says done. If that's not the case, we are just going to say we are going to the next question. So that's the style for that, that is a background color of green, a padding of 10, and margin is going to be auto on the left and right, and a margin top of 20 and border radius of 6. Okay. So again we are checking the condition over here, that is if the answer status equals to null, we are going to show null, else we are going to show the next question button. Okay, so let's give that a try. And also if this is the case, we are that is if we have come to the last question, and then if we press on the done button, we are going to navigate to the results page by passing the values, that is points and then answers, right? So now let us give it a try. So let's say we press on the correct option. So it should give us the correct value, that is correct answer, and then next question. So next, let's go to the next question. Okay, we have an error over here, which now let's enable the timer. I think that's the reason it's giving us that error. Hopefully it is that itself. Let us, over here also let us just keep the timer on. Okay, let's press on start quiz. Okay, everything is working fine. Let us press on any one of the answer. Okay, it's going to show wrong. Let's go on the next question. Okay, that's the problem. It is defaultly getting selected. Okay, that is the option. So let's look into what is happening exactly. So the problem that we have is, like, if we select any one of the option, that is, it's going to work correctly from the start of the question, that is the first question. Then from the second question, the answer is getting pre-selected. So that's the main problem. Okay, it's not working correctly. So for that, firstly let us console.log so that we can see exactly what is happening. So one thing is there might be problem in the use effects. Okay, so that is, this is not becoming null, that is the set answer status as well as set selected answer index. So that's the reason we are showing the black color and it is pre-selected. So for that reason, what we are going to do is, let us console.log the answer status first. So console.log answer status. Okay, let's start our application from the start. So at the initial state, it should be null, and when we select any one of the answer, it should become true or false. And when we press on the next button, since we are changing the current question, it should become null again, right? That should be the logic. So let's again press on start quiz. So it is null. So let's press on any one of the option. So currently it is false. So now when I press on the next question, it should give us null again. See, it's again giving us false. So that's the reason it's not working properly. All right, so I think the dependency is entirely wrong. Okay, I think we can, I think actually the question is getting changed, but it's not working properly. So let's give the index, okay, because that is also changing for every question that changes. So let's give index, and then yeah, let's try it out from the start. Okay, so also before that, we also forgot to initialize our stack navigator, that is for the result screen. I think, is there a results, yeah, results thing we have created. Let us create the screen, initialize it over here. So results, and this is gonna be result screen. Okay, is it default? Yeah, it is imported. Let's pretty much copy it over here, or manually do it. Import result screen, and this is gonna be result screen. Save the file. So now let's give it a try. Let's come back to our quiz screen, and yeah, let's press on start quiz. So initially it should be null, that is working fine. So let's press on the correct option. Okay, it's true. So now if I press on the next question, this should go also, it should become null again. Yes, now it's working fine. I don't know why correct question, correct index, correct question was not working, because even that was also getting changed, current question. Okay, so yeah, let's again press on any one of the option. Okay, wrong answer, correct answer. Yeah, so as you can see, whenever we come to the new question, it's going to get to null. So that's the reason we're getting this design. And yeah, done. Okay, what is the error we have? Was not handled by any navigator. Why is that happening? We have a navigation problem, so let's fix that out. So where we have the done button, okay, points is going to be points, and then let's check out the name. It's going to be okay, a wrong spelling. Results. Yes, now it's working absolutely fine. So one last thing remaining in the quiz screen is the progress bar. So let's go initialize that. So it's going to be pretty simple, one piece of code, and then the style we have to give that. So let's write it over here, progress bar. So let's write const progress percentage equals to, let's access the math dot floor. Okay, so it's gonna be index divided by total number of questions multiplied by 100. So initially it's going to be of course 0, because the index value is 0. Okay, so if you answer one question, it's going to be 1 divided by total number of questions into 100. So that's the progress percentage. We're pretty much calculating the percentage, and then we're going to give the style for that. Okay, so it's going to come over here. So let me just write the let me just get the default style right now. Okay, so for the progress bar, we have a view, and the view or the background color is going to be white. So width is going to be 100%, and a flex direction row and align item center. Height is going to be 10 with a slightly border radius, and justify content of center. Margin top towards space on the top, and then towards the left we have 10. So for the text, everything is going to be similar. I mean simple, and then but for the width, it's going to be progress percentage. Okay, so that's the way it's going to work. So initially it's going to be 0%, so nothing is going to get filled. Okay, so for that also we're going to give a background color on the white color, so it's going to get changed. So let's give that a try. Okay, so now let's see if it is going to work properly. Start quiz. So yeah, as you can see, the progress bar at initially it's 0. When we answer a question and move to the next question, it's going to get increased. Okay, so pretty much the similar way. Let's answer all the question. Yeah, so yeah, pretty much over here this is the result screen. Over here now let's start designing the result screen. So okay, so let's make use of a safe area view, and let's use it instead of the normal view. All right, and then save the file. Yeah, so over here we need to show the status of the answers that we answered in the previous screen. So let's do that now. Now inside the result screen, let's start designing our scorecard. Okay, that is basically showing the results from the previous page. So firstly, let's access the root params. So that is coming from over here. That is, we are passing the answers as well as the points. That is, just a minute. Yeah, this one. That is answers and points. That is, if the user comes with the last question, we are passing the data, that is answers and points. And also if you press on the next button, that is on the done button, you are again passing it over here. Okay, so let's access that with the help of root params. So let's initialize our root first. So let's say const route equals to use route. Let's import it from the correct dependency. First let's console.log our root params. Okay, save the file. Yeah, so you are getting that answers array as well as the points. Yeah, so points is going to be 10. Okay, so with the help of that information, we're going to design this result screen. So firstly, let us initialize, let's comment that out. Let's initialize a view over here. So let's write text, which is going to say your results. Okay, we also have another text, another view. So this is going to have a text as well as the icon. So for the text, it's going to be share. And let's go get the icon, that is the share icon. So let us search for share. It's taking some time. Okay, so share. Okay, let's import it from and design, and let's copy the render component code as well. Yeah, so paste it over here. Let's remove the result screen text, the first one, that's not required. Okay, can't find view, so let's import it from React Native. Yeah, so let's again just answer some few questions. Okay, yeah, we are getting the correct icon as well as a text. So for the second view, let's give some styling, that is flex direction of row, and then align items of center. Okay, so for the outermost view, that's a parent view, let's give flex direction of row again, and align items of center, and justify between. So let's write space between for that. Okay, so for the second view, let's provide some space towards the right because it's almost touching the right part of the screen. So let's write margin right of 14. And for the and design, let's provide some space to the left since it's almost touching the text. So margin left of 4. And let's decrease the size of the icon to be, let's say, 18. All right, and for the outermost view, let's give some margin of 10. All right, so now let's start designing the second part, which says the number of questions answered. So this is just going to be a random value that we are generating. So text, which is going to be questions answered, and the second one is going to be, okay, since we have just 5 questions, we're just going to write hard-coded value, that is 5 on 5, and we're going to give the same piece of styling for this view as well. Let's copy that over. All right, and over here let's give some margin vertical, margin vertical of, let's say, 10. Okay, so next let's start our view. Okay, let's make a pressable. So over here let's start giving the style. So let's keep a background color of white. Okay, can't find pressable, so again we need to answer the questions. Okay, let's do that real soon. So okay, so now let's give a particular height, 200. Yeah, so you are seeing that the white container coming on the screen. Let's give some border radius of 7 and some spacing on the top. So let's say margin top of 20. Okay, so the first thing over here is gonna be the text which says scorecard. Okay, so let's give some style. So the color is gonna be the magenta, and then font size of 15, font weight of 500, and we're also gonna write text align of center, right? So save the file and some spacing on the top. So we're gonna say margin top of 8. Alright, so next what we're going to do is, if you've checked out the demo video, we need to show all the questions with the correct option that we have choose, that is if it is correct or wrong. So for that we'll be making use of a flat list. Okay, so let's write flat list and let's import it from React Native, so that we do not want to answer the questions from start. Okay, so flat list takes the data prop. Let's write that over. So the data is going to be, so if you come to the quiz screen over here, so we have sent the data as answers, so it's going to be root.params.answers. That's the way you access the answers array, right? So we're going to say root.params.answers. I hope the spelling is correct. Answers. Okay, so next we're going to say the render item. Okay, it's going to take the item itself. Okay, for this we are going to show a view for each item, that is for each answer that we have given. Okay, so the first one is going to be text. Okay, so let's see what exactly is coming in the console, right? Okay, so if you check over here, yeah, over here we have something called as the question and the answer, right? So let's firstly access the question. So to access the question, we have the item over here, so it's going to be item.question to get the question number, right? So let's write item.question, and next we're going to apply a condition, that is if the answer is false, we're going to show a wrong button, that is the cross button. If the answer is true, we are just going to show the tick button, that is a check mark button. So let's write that condition, if the item dot answer equals to, let's say, true. If it is true, we are going to show a different icon, that is the check mark icon, else we are going to show this, right? So let's get the icon. I think that is there inside the quiz screen itself, so it's easy to get that over here. Yeah, one is and design, the second one is also and design itself, right? Yeah, let's copy that over. So this one is close, that means it's wrong, so let's put it in the second condition, that is in the else condition over here. And the first one is for the check mark button, let's copy that over and paste it over here. Okay, so yeah, we have the style, we have name, color, everything is set. So yeah, let's give it a try. Let's save the file. Okay, we are getting everything, but yeah, the button is not seen. Yeah, because the color is set to be white, right? So let's make it, for the tick mark icon we are gonna say green. Nope, it's still not visible. Let's give a background color, to be honest. Or you don't want, like, wait, just let's remove the style once. Okay, it's not changing. Later we can give the other styles, right? So just for this, the color is going to be red. Yes, now it's coming properly. And yeah, we need to center it to the center of the that container. So for that reason, over here for the view, let's write the style, that is align items of center, and then justify content of center. Okay, okay, that's come to the center of the screen. So now we are going to use number of columns, and we're going to make it into 2 columns, right? So let's refresh the app and begin it from the start. All right, so let's answer the questions real soon. And let's move to the next screen. Okay, everything is showing wrong. Why is that happening? uh, okay, my bad. They should be in the value itself. It should not be inside double quotes. Yes, now it's working fine. Yeah, but the tick mark button is not taking that, I mean the background color, right? So the color is going to be red, and the name is going to be check. Okay, let's check the icon if it's correct or not. So over here, let's search for check. Okay, so the name is going to be check circle. So over here, yeah, so the color is going to be green, and the size is going to be 20. Yeah, now it's working fine. So for each of the items, let's give a margin of 20, that is for the view. Okay, okay, but it is not coming in the center of the screen, right? Why is that happening? Let's see, where is that error happening? Yeah, also for the view we need to give it a flex direction of row, and then align items of center. Yes, okay. And for the icon itself, some margin left. Same thing goes for the second one. All right, okay, so just we need to center it, but it's not getting centered. Let's see why that is happening. Let's give a margin left, of auto, and then margin right of auto. Okay, yeah, now it's working good. And yeah, because it has 5 questions, it's taking the center position for the 5th question. I think that's it about the result screen. We have designed all the scorecard basically. So if we want, we can add a button at the bottom which says continue. So over here, let's initialize a text. Just gonna say continue. So let's give some basic styling. So let's say background color of green, then a bit of padding of 8, margin left of auto, also margin right of auto. Okay, there is something happening in the console. Think we are logging something that's not required. Okay, so now yeah, let's just increase the height for the container. So instead of 200, let's make it 220, and let's provide some margin bottom to it, say 20. Okay, so some border radius. Yeah, so for the text, let's give a color of white, and then a text align of center. Okay, I think that's it about the result screen. We simply basically designed the scorecard. I think we have completed this mini project. That's it for this video. Let's see you in the next project, and then thank you for watching.